How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, Sundays, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Zarian. And hey, it's Wednesday here on the show, and look, we're here! We were, of course, here yesterday for our lovely listeners on the radio. Some of you might have heard of this thing called the radio. But today we're back on video. We're up here on Twitch, twitch.tv/F4W video, as well as YouTube, F4WOnline.com/YouTube. And had a rough go of things for like a little while there, but we're back. And we got a lot to get into here today. Lance Storm is going to be joining us here on the show. And we'll talk about tonight's Dynamite and Collision tapings. Because, in fact, I'm going to do this show. I'm going to eat some. I'm going to do another show, After Dark Radio, 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern. And then I'm going to pick up my daughter at camp, and we are on our way to Dynamite and Collision tonight. So I got to boom, 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 boom all day, and then come back home for Observer Radio tonight. So very busy day. We'll talk about the lineup for the show and all of the news and lineups and last night's NXT. And plenty more. If you want to text us here today, you're welcome to 425-780-7566. That is 425-780-7566. F4WOnline@gmail.com. F4W Online Threads, Instagram, and Cameo. And I'm at Bryan Alvarez on X and Blue Sky. You can also subscribe on X. We'll have a travelogue on the way to and from the show tonight with lots of notes only for subscribers on X. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So when we come back, Lance is going to join us. We'll get into all the news, have some fun. Back in a moment, Observer Live. Alrighty. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Lance Storm is joining us. And yes, that lovely commercial for After Dark Radio. It is today. It'll be 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern, live show with a guest. Reverend Bill Bean is back. We're talking about exorcisms and demons and other issues.
It's hard to have the one without the other.
Yeah, 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern a day After Dark Radio. Then I'm off to Dynamite. And we do actually now have 4 things announced for the double Dynamite and Collision taping tonight.
1 per hour.
We do have 1 thing announced per hour. Hopefully there will be more. But we have got Kota Ibushi is returning to the ring against Trent Beretta. He made his return in frickin' Kent on Saturday. I mean, it was amazing live, but that's where he made his return. And, I mean, he looked physically good. His kicks looked pretty good. But we'll know a lot more after his match with Trent Beretta tonight, who apparently just got married like last week. That's what I heard from a inside source who happened to be on the show yesterday, the Bryan and Vinny show.
She was great.
You liked Aubrey on the show?
Thought she was extremely good, yes.
Yeah, she was pretty good, huh? Turns out she lives in Bellevue. Should try to get her on as a regular. Yeah, she did an excellent job. If you want to hear it, it's the Bryan and Vinny show last night. Aubrey showed up to join the show with Granny and review Mid-South Wrestling, which she said, by the way, first Mid-South Wrestling she'd ever watched. When it was over, she wanted to be Pee Wee Anderson, which I don't think anyone's ever said in the history of the world, but there you go. So anyway, we got Kota Ibushi and Trent Beretta. And then we got a 4-way for the number 1 spot in the All-In Casino Gauntlet. Another, yes, those of you like, this was like done just to irritate Vinny. 2 more 4-ways.
It's the official match type of 2025.
It really is. Everybody. It's nothing but 4-ways. Takeshita, Mark Briscoe, Roderick Strong, and Bandito, which if nothing else, that match should be awesome. Winner gets number 1 in the Gauntlet. And then Willow Nightingale, Athena, Thunder Rosa, and Chris Statlander. The winner of that gets number 1 in the Gauntlet. And the Hurt Syndicate will appear live. So on the show Saturday, and I watched the main event of the show, and I thought, okay, well, I mean, clearly they're doing Athena and Thunder Rosa for the Ring of Honor title on the show. But the more I thought about it, well, actually, it was other people pointed it out. They said, you know, that's probably going to be the Ring of Honor show because there's one like the night before. And I think they're right. So I guess Athena and Thunder Rosa will be fighting for a spot in the Gauntlet. So for those of you that don't know anything about AEW, what is a Casino Gauntlet? Why would you want to be number 1 in it? It's not like the Royal Rumble, where number 1 is like a bad number. You want to go in last. The Casino Gauntlet is like a Royal Rumble, except it's just like unlimited participants, and it just goes until somebody wins.
It's a 1 fall Royal Rumble.
It's exactly. So if you and I start, Lance, if we're number 1 and number 2, and I pin you again, the match is just over. No one else even enters. So the earlier you can get in, the better, is how it works. So that's Dynamite. That's what we know for Dynamite and Collision tonight in Kent, Washington.
It drives me crazy that the wrestling business has completely ruined the word gauntlet because everyone does gauntlet matches, but none of them are a true gauntlet.
Yeah. They're not really gauntlet matches, are they?
No.
It's a casino rumble. Kind of.
But gauntlets are when one person tries to run the gauntlet and has to continually beat multiple people.
Well, sure, you're doing that all the way up to the end.
No. Not really.
Whoever's number 1's got to run a gauntlet of ever-increasing numbers of people.
Well, yes, but a true gauntlet would be you and I. If I'm running the F4W gauntlet, I'd fight you. If I beat you, I'd then have to fight Vinny.
Which you couldn't.
And if I beat him, I'd have to fight Craig. And if I beat him...
Why am I at the beginning?
I had to fight Sean because Granny's the main event. And if I get through everybody, I get to Granny. And at any point along the way, if I lose, the gauntlet's over and I failed. That's a true gauntlet. But the wrestling business has screwed that up and changed the meaning of what a gauntlet is.
This guy says, was really cool to hear Aubrey on the show yesterday. Between that and Hook, it's reminding me when AEW was really hot at the start, they had people on the show almost weekly. Hey, anybody can come on this show at any time from literally any promotion. I had a buddy in WWE who was all mad. Oh, your coworker was on, he says. I was like, listen, if you didn't work for like a weird cult, I'd have you guys on every single week. You want someone from WWE on this show every single day? Like, what, you think I'm going to say no? You kidding me?
Yeah.
You don't let anyone come on the show. They do, so don't whine about it. Don't cry about it. There's plenty you can cry about. That's not one of them.
It's not like you're going to turn down Kevin Owens if he wants to on the show.
Kevin Owens wants to come on and talk about his neck. Let's do it. John Cena wants to come on and talk about his horrific heel run. I'm here. But that won't happen. Speaking of John Cena, he says he feels the reality of his impending retirement is finally set in for fans. He was on Stephen Colbert. He can do that show and not mine? I mean, come on. He says it's been pretty incredible. That's what he said. It's been pretty incredible. I think we're getting to the point where audiences understand I'm done in December. Pro wrestling and retirement, there's no realism there, but I will absolutely be done in December, he says. So I think it was kind of a thing. You know, sometimes things are funny, you know what I'm saying? John Cena just said there's no such thing as retirement in wrestling, but I'm absolutely done. Dave on the show the other day, this was a Dave moment if I ever heard one. And Dave, what the heck did he say? He was talking about the Netflix numbers or something. And he literally goes, it's absolutely stupid to try to analyze these numbers because we know nothing. And then he goes, even though I do it every single week. And then he just kept going. I was like, you don't have to do this, brother. But John Cena promises, even though there's no such thing as a real retirement, he's actually done. And he said it's a really good live experience. Every audience is different. He has less than 20 of these things remaining. And hopefully he turns back babyface like either this weekend or at the latest SummerSlam.
Yeah. And while I believe it will be his last match when he's done this run, he's going to be appearing again on the program.
Well, of course.
They bring legends back all the time.
Of course. He's never going to appear on the show again. I mean, stop. Especially because he just did that interview going, I love wrestling more than acting. So you're just going to go into acting and never show up on WWE again? Skeptical. John, skeptical. Kevin Owens says his neck is a frustrating process. Still no surgery. They're waiting until mid-July. They're going to try to let his spinal cord heal as much as it can on its own. And then they'll go in for surgery. And once they're there, they're going to find out how extensive the surgery is going to be, depending on how his spinal cord looks. So, it says my neck's been fine. I've not been in pain much the last few months. Last week has been difficult, he says. He says, in the last week, for some reason, the symptoms all came in one shot. Every symptom you'd expect me to have. Pain in the neck, stuff going down the arms, legs, nuts. It's all happening, he says. Well, that sucks. So hopefully they fix it up and all will be good. Also,
he's one of the good guys, that's for sure.
Yeah. Kathy Kelly revealed that her and Owens had been involved in a dune buggy accident in Saudi Arabia. And she said that Kevin Owens saved her life. So they had a great time going through the dune. She sees a buggy. They crash. And he grabbed her and kept her inside to keep her inside as they rolled, I guess is how it happened. But she said Jamie Noble was also there. We're upside down in the golf cart, she says. All we hear is Jamie Noble going, my ribs, my ribs, my ribs, my... I'm fine. Reminds me of that Mid-South we watched last night. That guy wasn't fine. Who was it? I forget his name. Anyway, he went down. And
Rocky King or...
Sonny King.
Sonny King.
Yeah, Sonny King went down after a diving headbutt. And then looked badly injured. And apparently, if you look at like the his match history, like he didn't do too many matches afterwards. So he might have actually hurt himself in that angle, like we thought. Anyway, back in a moment with more Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Okay, can everyone hear it?
Yeah.
There's a mystery bell at Granny's house. She can't hear it. Take off your headphones for a second.
I had them on wrong anyway.
Okay.
I can't get them on right. What?
Right. Take them off and listen.
You have in your elbow?
Is the fan on a computer?
Nothing.
All right. Well, this is going to be an exciting show.
Gonna have bells ringing through the whole thing, and it's every week. It's gotta be me.
Do you have a neighbor that's an ice cream man
No,
practicing out there?
I got a neighbor that smokes marijuana.
I'm sure you do. I guess
Whatever that noise is, I mean, it's still going.
Yeah, it's not going to stop, dude.
Brian, do you want me to get off here and go see if open the door and see if there's anything out there?
You think something's out the front door?
Is he ringing the bell the entire time?
No, Granny, you don't.
Let me in. Let me in.
It's fine. It's fine.
If it's death, don't open the door.
Thank you, Craig. This person thinks it's a stove timer.
Have you burned the roast?
No, I don't have a stove. You want me to just get off here?
No. We're going to barrel through it.
I'd love it.
You're not even doing anything. Granny, Nick says that you've got an old-fashioned analog alarm clock in Terry's bedroom.
I don't know. I got a new alarm clock, battery operated. Is that what she meant?
Well, whatever it is, it's going haywire right now.
Oh, it might be my alarm.
Do you think?
But it's way back in the bedroom.
Don't worry about it right now. But when the show's over, you might want to go...
That's what it is.
Okay.
Solve the mystery.
Is there a reason you didn't turn it off when it started ringing?
Well, I wasn't in there. I didn't.
Duh.
I took a nap. I took a nap and set the alarm. I thought I shut it off, but I probably didn't.
No.
You probably didn't.
That's life.
I would say with a good deal of certainty that you didn't turn it off.
Brian, that's life around here.
Yeah, I'm well aware. I do the show with Dave, too.
Say,
Hear all sorts of things in the background.
did I do that? You know,
Yeah, you did do that.
or I thought I did that, but I didn't.
In there.
I wake up and I see lights on, and I say, I didn't turn those lights on. What's going on?
Maybe the place is haunted.
Could be.
Okay.
It's my brain that's haunted.
Well, I hope not. Instead of suffering through the YouTube chat, click like and subscribe. The show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Gonna do another fun travelogue on my X for subscribers today. If you're an X subscriber, get a lot of pics and videos from this Dynamite and Collision show. Get any scoops about what matches might be coming, I'll put them up there. Always fun stuff up there for the X subscribers. Hello, everybody out there. And I should note, I just signed up for my own Twitch again. Because we can't do comps, so every month I gotta sign up for it. But I used the Amazon Prime free sign-up gimmick, so I actually paid nothing. Because if you have Amazon Prime and you go to F4W Video and you click subscribe, it's normally like $5 or something to become a Twitch subscriber. Then you can like see exclusive shows and you don't have to deal with the riffraff on the YouTube chat. And it's free with Prime, so I don't have to pay anything.
As Chris Candido used to say, it's gratis.
It is.
Means I pay nothing.
It is gratis. It's banana that it's gratis. Yeah. YouTube chat. Can you believe that someone hacked the YouTube page and wanted a ransom? Like, no offense to you blokes on YouTube, but I was all ready to just like let it go. I was like, you want should I look at what it says in the YouTube chat? Should I read some of these? I'm not even sure I can read half of this on the air, to be honest with you. Let's see what we got. I can only imagine what I'd see if I scrolled back here. Let's see. This guy is I can't even read half of this. Anyway, like you wanted me to pay to get that back. Not happening. But anyway, it's back now, so that's nice. But if you ever go in that YouTube chat and you're like, my God, who would ever, well, just get your Amazon Prime account, twitch.tv/F4W video, and chat with, like, people that aren't going to be maniacs. It's fun. That's what it's all about, everybody. Fun. Right, Lance?
Yes, and a lack of maniacs.
Yeah, big lack of maniacs. All right, we also got a couple of other notes. This one sucks. Chad Gable is injured. And it appears also, Lance, he requires shoulder surgery.
Oh, no.
These frickin' shoulders. It'll be early July, no timetable for the return. Don't know what happened, but they did do that angle backstage where he was put in that arm breaker, shoulder breaker gimmick by Penta. And so he's out. And I don't have an update, but last night on NXT, they did the famous Phantom attack of Hank and Tank. And Tank was on the ground, and he was selling it big. So I'm thinking that maybe Tank, latest in a long string of NXT performers injured. Guess we'll find out next week. They're half the tag team champions. Might have just been an angle to set up a tag team title match, but, I mean, man, they were really building that up like that guy was hurt. And they just did it Monday with Gable, and Gable needs surgery. So all the best to those guys. Hope everything's all right. Raw on Netflix. You know, it's stupid to analyze this, but here we go. They claim 2.7 million global views, down from last week. And, there was competition and everything. But anyway, that's the update on that. All right. We could get an NXT.
We could.
Yeah. But we could also see what's in the text message bin and do NXT next. If you want to text us, 425-780-7566. 425-780-7566. Sky goes, hold up, you have a cat? How did I not know that? I don't know. I got a cat.
So do I.
A Mango. Yeah, you do, but we never hear from your cat. My cat did a run-in yesterday and decided he was going to start talking. Yes, Mango was, he's had like 4 names now. The latest is Mango. Hanalei just changed his name one day. And he's cool with it,
Ignores you no matter what you call him?
He doesn't ignore me at all. That's the problem.
Oh.
Like, I mean this, I love cats and all, but he is the most annoying cat I've ever seen in my life. Like, this cat needs constant, unending attention. And the funny thing was, the cat was born, like, outside the sliding glass door about 12 years ago. And it was the runt. And so I think there was, like, some stuff wrong with him, I don't think he can see. And he's small. But
So it relates to you?
We adopted this cat. And, like, this cat wanted nothing to do with people. Nothing. You couldn't go near this cat. You couldn't pet this cat. This cat would just hide and sleep all day, come out to eat, hide. And I don't know what happened, but, like, one day this cat decided, this fella's cool. And now, all over me. And I'm allergic to it, so it's even worse. It's like, all over me all the time. Like, I can't go anywhere in the house without cat jumping up and, like a dog. Like, literally like a dog. No, it doesn't work. Feed them enough and they're good. The cat, it's like it's always new for this cat. That's the other thing. I think the cat's blind and has no short-term memory. Anytime I go near the room where the food is, the cat rushes in and acts all hungry. Dude, I just fed you 5 minutes ago, but I came by the room and now you got to eat again? Yeah. So then, you know what I do? I shake the bag that the food's in, and then I rattle the bowl the food's in, and the cat's blind, so it hears the bag, it hears the rattle, and it thinks there's new food, so it just starts eating the food that's already in there. But if you don't shake the bag and rattle the bowl, he's like, I ain't eating that. Used food.
This cat is literally you. You were legally blind for a long period of time.
True, but I got it fixed.
You're the runt of the litter, and you eat way more than anyone could possibly imagine.
I'm literally the biggest person in my immediate family. But I do eat a lot. All right, anyway, we got something important here, I guess. You kept talking about how Last Collision was your daughter's first show. Did she enjoy it? Are we going to get an Iha Day? Well, here's the thing. She had an incredible time at the show. Loved it. And knew nothing about anything. She has no idea who any of the wrestlers are. She doesn't know what wrestling is. She's never watched it. Like, I had to explain that when the referee does this 3 times, that when it's over, or if the other person she knows nothing, okay? But she likes going to an event. And so there's people all around, and they're like cheering, and there's like costumes, and there's glitter, and that guy's wearing pink, and they're doing flips and everything like that. So like, she loved that, but still she has no idea what's going on. But like, I can't say it on the air, but there were people behind us, very profane chants, and then like Don Callis would come out and they'd chant what they chant to Don Callis, and so she won't actually say the words, but she'll pump her fist along with it as they're cursing out Don Callis. So I was just going to take her to Collision, but she has to come tonight as well. So she's going to go, and I said, dude, it's twice as long tonight. There's 2 shows. That guy said on the ramp, you're getting 2 shows for the price of 1 ticket? She was like, I'm going. So I'm taking her.
Get video of her pumping her fist along with a profane chant.
I think I might have one. I might have one I can send to you. But yes, she had a great time. I did too. Like, I have fun going to wrestling shows. Doesn't mean I can't complain that we have no lineup.
I had a friend that came to the TNA tapings in Pittsburgh this past weekend, and he brought his son and a friend, and his son had a tremendous time. He thought it was exciting as well. And the thing that I thought was most interesting, he said that he was totally into the Hardys and doing the Jeff Hardy dance and the fingers and so forth. And it's like he'd never seen the Hardys before. So it isn't just nostalgia. They still have that it factor where people just connect with them.
They're incredibly good at this job. Like, they can't physically do everything they used to do, but like, obviously, as everyone's well aware, there's more to wrestling than moves. It's everything just Lance just said. You got to connect to the people. You got to have charisma. I mean, there were people that, Paisley knows nothing about anything. She gravitated towards the people that came off as superstars. She didn't care about the matches. She didn't even understand the matches. But a cool spot or like a cool entrance or a cool outfit or, that's the kind of stuff that she got into. That's how you create new fans.
That's also why I love getting feedback from people who aren't regular fans. I even did it at my school when occasionally my mom would be visiting and she'd come and watch the students perform. And it's like, I'd always ask her, it's like, okay, who stood out to you? And it'd be interesting to see who she picks because she's not a wrestling fan. She doesn't know these people. She just, for 2 hours, you get to see these people in a wrestling setting. Who grabbed your attention? And it's interesting with kids that don't have the preconceived notion of what they're supposed to like. And it's like, people still connect with Jeff Hardy. Well, the Hardys both, but Jeff always a little more particular.
This guy here says, Brian, Dave is insistent AEW does 500,000 streaming, despite that running basically against what WBD said. Do you believe they do 500,000? Okay, first off, that's incorrect. He does not believe that. What he has said is that nobody seems to have a real number, and that the closest we have to anyone claiming to have a number through sources at WBD is BJ Bethel, who claimed 500,000. Now, Dave himself has said that sounds really high, and I agree. And the thing with streaming is we don't know anything about anything. Like, what does any of this even mean? I don't think 500,000 individual people are streaming Dynamite every Wednesday. I'm not saying that BJ is wrong. Whatever numbers he got, I'm sure are numbers that he got. But, like, what does that mean? Over the course of 2 hours live, 500,000 people watch 1 second? I don't know what that means, okay? What I do believe, and what Dave is also now sort of coming around to, is it's probably between 100 and 250,000, depending on the show, depending on the night. That's a similar percentage to what everybody else does streaming. So if you're going to say that, like, well, these are all accurate, but this one with Dynamite, some aberration, it's probably not. Anyway, back in a moment with more Observer Live. What does Trick say? Let's talk about it. I don't like repeating my material, but it's very clear that not everyone listens to every show. Let me try to make this quick for you guys. Max, okay?
Oh, jeez.
Actually, I'm gonna do the long version. Do you guys remember the Mixed Match Challenge? You guys remember Mixed Match Challenge? It was like some WWE thing that they did on YouTube or something like that? Okay. The number of people that actually watched that Mixed Match Challenge matches like live, like actually watched it, was like 60,000 people. 60 to 80,000 people or something. But WWE had this gigantic number. So, were they lying? Well, no. How did they get that number? Well, the number of people that watched 5 seconds of Mixed Match Challenge, that was counted in this giant number they had. Have you ever been on YouTube? You're watching something, it ends and something auto plays, okay? There's a million ways you can accidentally watch a second or 5 seconds of something before you switch, okay? So they claim, there were 1.5 million people who watch this Mixed Match Challenge. The real number is probably like 80,000, okay? So BJ Bethel says 500,000. I'm sure that's true. But what does that mean, okay? Does that mean that over the course of a week, 500,000 different people watched a minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever? I don't know. I don't know what that means, but I'm telling you that he didn't make it up. Well, what's the real number, okay? Yes, obviously there was a time where, not that many people watch stuff streaming, okay? But the thing with this world and life is that everything changes. So some of you are living in 2020 or 2015 or 2011 when the network debuted or whatever, and you're thinking of this time in the past that was different than what we're at now. I just told you guys a week ago, this was the first month, June of 2025, that half of the people in this country watch linear television and half have a streaming service. They watch streaming, okay? It's half and half, okay? If you have 100 friends, 50 of them don't have linear television anymore. They only watch stuff streaming. Half of the people in this country are only watching stuff on streaming, okay? So the idea right now in 2025 that nobody is watching on Max, that is as ridiculous as 500,000 people are watching on Max. What's the real number? Well, whether it's the NFL or Saturday night's main event or whatever, the number of people that watch a show when it's simulcast on TV and on some streaming service, whatever it is, the number of people that are watching streaming is 20 to 30%, okay? So if Dynamite is doing 700,000 people on television, then between 140 and 210,000 people are probably also watching it streaming, okay? I don't care what you guys think and what makes sense in your brains. I don't care. This is math. I'm not even good at math, but it's simple math, okay? If 700,000 people are watching on TBS or TNT, then 140 to 210,000 people are watching on Max. And what's funny is, for the people that don't believe this, like, how many people on the chat right now are watching on Max? I am. I literally no longer watch on YouTube TV. I've switched completely to Max, and I'm not the only one. Lots and lots of people have decided the picture quality is better. It's easier. Like, I don't miss the overrun on Max. Like, a lot of people have chosen to watch Max over watching it on television or YouTube TV or whatever you were watching it on, okay? Those are the numbers. We don't have it official, but, like, those are the numbers. When Saturday night's main event airs on whatever channel, NBC, you know, they're going to do 2 million viewers, and 30% of those are going to watch on Peacock. 30%. So, what, you don't have NBC? More people have NBC than have TBS and TNT. So anyway, that's the number.
I think, too, there's a convenience to it. Like, I have the same issue.
Yes.
Like, NXT is an example. I get NXT on television here because we have the CW as a cable channel. But I also get, because I'm in Canada, NXT's on Netflix. I watched NXT. It's just easier to pick it up on Netflix for me because I can watch it on my iPad, wherever. I don't actually have to go to my TV and set my DVR. I can watch it wherever. I can change rooms while watching. So I watch streaming because it's easier, even though I could watch it on television as well.
I watch everything on my iPad because I can fast forward the fastest. Like, anything that is on a streaming service, I'm going to watch it on my iPad. So that's just the way that it is. All right, let's talk about what you think of NXT.
I enjoyed it for the most part, I guess. I do find, and this is the thing that I've really learned lately, it's like when you get out of a cycle of watching a specific show, it's harder to get back in. I've been watching predominantly Raw the last month or so that I've been on Observer Live with you on Tuesdays, but now with a couple of switches to Wednesdays when I'm jumping back to NXT, I got to catch myself up and get into what they're doing.
Open with Trick Williams and Josh Briggs for the TNA title. Golly, this match. I thought this match was great for a television title match. The crowd is going nuts. And Josh Briggs, I think this was the best match I ever saw him in, as far as like a big singles match. And Trick was on fire. They were just feeling it. And Trick ended up avoiding a moonsault. Briggs whipped out the big moonsault for this title match. Trick hit the trick shot, got the pin. Excellent match. And then Joe Hendry interrupted, and they got an upcoming match at Slammiversary. More to come on that. We had Tavion had a broken nose. They claimed Charlie did it in training. And Charlie goes, I'll take that match tonight with Javon. They're doing a Javon-Tavion match where if Tavion wins, he's free of Charlie. And Tavion goes, no. They gave me this mask. I'm cleared. I'm going to do it. Off he goes. So we had Tavion and Javon. And good match. You know, Tavion suplexed this guy all over the place. Javon made his big comeback. Got suplexed some more. And then finally, Javon hits a double springboard tornado and pins him clean. So Tavion is still stuck in Charlie's group. And Charlie smirks. He's got this guy.
Yeah, but that Tavion Heights guy can pick up and throw some dudes.
He sure can. And then Jasper Troy showed up and killed Javon. Noam Dar is injured. Has to vacate the Heritage Cup.
Boy, injuries. Wow.
Yeah, and I mentioned this yesterday. One of the things that, I know people, they don't like comparisons, but Sorry, AEW and WWE are number 1 and number 2. And they can each learn things from the other. And without question, I will not hear arguments. I'll ban you. One thing that WWE does so much better than AEW, probably the thing they do better than AEW more than maybe anything else, is when somebody gets hurt and plans have to change, they do an awesome job rolling with the punches. Noam Dar was the Heritage Cup champion, and he got hurt. If this were AEW, he would just vanish, and we would never hear about it again until he returned. Not here. He's injured, and so they came up with a deal. Luca Crucifino says, I talked to Ava, Tony, and tonight you will face Stax for the vacant Heritage Cup. So Luca has been trying to, get on Tony's good side. Tony doesn't trust him. Tony hears this, and he goes, you know what? I got a chance to win my cup back. You gave me a chance to beat up Stax in the process. Not bad, Luca. So they've turned it into a storyline that plays into a storyline that's already ongoing. Very good. We had Ricky Saints versus Ashanti the Adonis. I'll need an hour tomorrow to talk about Booker T and Medulla Oblongata. I cried. It took me 2 hours to watch this show because I watched that over and over and over again. This guy needs to be on the main roster. Golly. I don't want to hear otherwise. This is as bad as telling me that AEW does injuries better. So anyway, Ricky won. The medulla is okay, Booker confirmed afterwards. And then Ethan Page attacked Ricky, which is leading to something next week.
And in case you're not sure, that is not what Ricky Saints hurt.
He did not hurt his medulla oblongata. I can tell you that much. Oba Femi came out for a promo, and I liked and disliked this. He's interrupted by Ishimura, okay? Or Inamura. And Inamura he beat Trick a couple of weeks ago in a tag match. But instead of taking the title shot, he gave it to his best friend Briggs because he wants to go for the NXT title. So he shows up here. He challenges Oba Femi. The fans are super into it. It's like a good segment. I'm all hyped up for this match. And then this frickin' Jasper Troy comes out and lays out this guy like a geek. And they have a stare down. And later they announce next week it's Inamura and Jasper in an eliminator match, a number 1 contenders match. I'm like, only Ava could have made such a stupid decision. Jasper Troy just got a title shot and lost. Clean. Inamura just pinned Trick. Why is he in a number 1 contenders match with Jasper Troy? Stupid is what it is.
Yeah, I don't understand. It would have made so much more sense had Briggs pinned Trick last week. And he could have gone to Inamura and even said, it's like, even if I get a title shot, I don't know if I want to take it. We're a team. And have Inamura say, no, do this, take your shot. While you're doing it, I'll go after Oba. And then he could come out and challenge Oba and set up this match. It would have made a lot more sense, in my opinion.
I'm just upset that Jasper Troy's involved. He just lost. I watched it. Stax and Tony D. Stax and Tony D had a match. And again, here's the only problem with this one. They tried to play into the storyline. Luca's outside, and Stax has these thugs. And they try to use a bucket, and Luca makes the save for Tony. But in doing a tug-of-war, he accidentally hits Tony with the bucket. The only problem is that Luca had to make sure that Tony was in the right place for the spot. So he's like looking. He's tug-of-war and he's looking. And then he accidentally hits him. And it was so bad that to me, if I'm Shawn Michaels, whatever the plan was, now the plan needs to be that Luca is anti-Tony. Because it was too obvious what was going on here.
Well, maybe that was the intent.
It might have been. But if you've watched a lot of Luca, God bless the guy, he's got a ways to go.
And then, unfortunately, the bucket went flying into the ring and was laying on the ground when they made the 3 count.
Yes.
Although Tony D, to his credit, when he took the bump, tried to knock the bucket out of the way.
I won't recap this because I just can't. but they had a segment with Thea and Lainey Reed and some other geeks. You have to watch this. It is the bottom of the barrel worst of NXT, all in one segment.
Yeah, I took advantage of the iPad ease of fast forward here.
And then we had a bunch of other segments with Ava and Ethan Page. They're going to meet in her office next week to settle this. Might be Loser Leaves Town, which I think one of them should go to the main roster. Joe Hendry promo about Slammiversary. He takes on Wesley next week. Another Chase U segment where once again Uriah and Kale walked out on him, and Chase realized maybe I'm not doing things the right way. And then when we come back, Lance, you are going to quickly recap the main event because my YouTube TV it only recorded an hour and 40 minutes. I haven't seen I can't find it. So hopefully they fix it this afternoon. But I didn't see the main event. So Lance will do that after the break. Observer Live. We did, in fact, by popular demand, watch Ready to Rumble.
The champion is some fat loser.
Yeah, he's a completely talentless, no athletic ability, can't wrestle, broke bum that walked out on his wife and kid.
But he was over.
The world champion.
He
and
was.
in the movie, the
well, yeah, but
storyline
that's a
is-
microcosm of wrestling, sadly.
Yes.
He feels so bad about drinking this entire slushy that cost $1.26, and he sticks his finger in his asshole and walks up to the clerk.
Lance is dying. How could the movie be so bad?
I'm not going to fault the man for that, of all the things in the movie.
I thought for
okay?
sure you were going to say you'd done this before.
There's a reason I'm not going to fault the man for that.
I just think with all the porta potties and farting in this, that I think Vince McMahon was a secret producer on this film. Had to have been.
So then we get the Shermanator. He's playing a WCW arcade game. He uses some internet sleuthing to find the personal information of Jimmy King.
He's searching the internet. Gonna find out anything on here. This movie was so antiquated. Every Nitro Girl is in a Nitro Girl outfit, except for this girl. They had her
want
dance in
to
something
stand
totally
out,
different.
Brian, like the captain.
So we're so stupid. I got it.
Captain
Yes,
Stabbin.
if you're watching this film, you're that stupid. I'm sorry.
But I was also insulted by the fact they hired Michael Buffer to announce the Royal Bash, the fake-ass Royal Bash.
$24 million budget.
Wow.
And probably $500,000 of that went to Michael Buffer. It made 12. You know, we should mention this cage match is the triple-decker Cage of Doom. Everybody buried it. It was horrible. Everybody hated it. And so they decided to make a movie. And what is the final battle? It's another goddamn triple-decker cage match. This would be like in 2010 if like TNA made a movie and the final match was a reverse battle royal.
They throw powder in someone's face, DDP's, I think, or somebody's, and the dude just looks and goes, "It doesn't work." It's like, of course, because wrestling's fake and stupid.
Should we just end it there? What a soundbite. There has never been a movie I have watched in my entire life which has made me hate myself more.
Wow.
I'm ashamed that I'm even in the place at 41 years old where I would end up reviewing this movie for money. I would have thought I would have made it out of here by now. You know what I mean? I'm done.
Well, everyone, hopefully we can do this again someday. Instead of suffering through the YouTube chat, click like and subscribe. Hey, I want to mention quickly, I was in the YouTube chat and just messaged one of the actual YouTube subscribers. The subscriber chat during the members-only shows is great. It's the free chat during Observer Live that you should avoid with all your might. But anyway, the main event of NXT, Lance.
Yeah, Izzy Dame, Lash Legend, Jada Parker, and Jordan Grace. Your standard four-way with just lots of action where you can't really tell who the baby faces and heels are, really. Izzy was a heel and Jordan definitely a face, but the other two I wasn't sure. And Jordan Grace picked up the win, which potentially could be a new finisher. She may have retired the Made in Japan. She had a torture rack spin out into a power bomb instead. If I remember correctly, she had a really tight-looking Juggernaut driver last week, so maybe they've decided.
Did she ever?
So maybe they've changed up her finish. But Jordan Grace versus JC Jane is the title match for Evolution.
All right. Well, listen, we got to wrap it up, everybody. But a couple of notes. I'll be up at 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern today for After Dark Radio. Reverend Bill Bean, Exorcisms and Demons. That's live on Sports Byline, YouTube, and Twitch, 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern. And if you are a YouTube subscriber, the update is that everything worked out fine today. But yesterday's Observer Live was never taped because we had no access to that computer. But we did tape the Brian and Vinny show with Aubrey, and that will go up for YouTube subscribers later on today or tomorrow. I heard later on today, but it could be tomorrow. But anyway, it will be uploaded. So everything else seems to be as it is. So thanks, Lance. Thanks, everyone else, even you YouTubers. We'll talk to you next time, Wrestling Observer Live.